Did you know we have to interrupt your segment because the attorney who sent me the email accusing me of not doing my job has called in. He took me up on he didn't call me back Thursday, but I invited him to call in. So he's on line 7. Hi, attorney. How are you?
Hey, David. How are you? It's Thomas Catris, not Mr. Anus.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to respect you. I didn't want to throw a name out there because my attorney said not to. He also said not to take this call, so I went against my attorney's advice here. So, hi.
Listen,
hi, Thomas.
I'm not trying to How are you?
I'm tremendous.
Good. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm calling in only because I want to give the correct information as to how I was approached by my client
and
our client in general, right? So just to take a couple of steps back, at closing for this file, you guys had the credit card statements to be paid on the closing statement, correct?
Correct. You know why?
No, now I do. Yeah, because I listen to your radio station. Yeah, I listen. So my client didn't tell me that, but at closing, what he told me was those 3 statements were inaccurate, right? The amounts were inaccurate.
Right.
The one credit amount was actually paid off, and so at closing, he was actually very aggravated, right?
Right.
And I didn't even point the finger at you. I said, listen, this has happened multiple times in the past. Buyers pay their credit cards at, sometimes they have to pay their credit cards to get a loan approval.
Right.
And I explained the process to him. I said, listen, the title company is going to send the checks to your credit card companies post-closing. That's standard.
Well, it's not anymore.
Right?
Themis, it's not anymore. So let me just bring that to you. They send it to the borrower to send it to the credit card company. So in the future, you might want to let your clients know that not to expect the title company to send it to the credit card company. That's just a little learning advice from me.
Well,
so keep going.
That's untrue. That's untrue because they can't insure the payments if they give it to the client.
Okay.
Title companies send them directly.
Okay.
Anyways.
Okay. Thanks for telling me how to do my job, but that's fine. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So anyways, a couple weeks after closing, I get a message at 6 a.m., maybe before 6 a.m. from our client stating that, hey, I'm looking at my credit card accounts.
Yeah.
Nothing has been paid. And at that time, I had no reason to involve you because I said, okay, might be just a simple error from the title company. So
which it was.
I reached out to the title company.
Which it was.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I initially thought. So I never blamed you
until you sent the email at 7:07 on Thursday morning. Right.
That was a week after that.
Didn't you send an email at 7:07 on Thursday morning saying?
Yeah, and you could read it.
I read it.
You could read it.
I read it already.
So.
Did you not send an email when a phone call, Themis, would have been better? I know you're a lot younger than me, and that's fine.
No. Well, here's the thing. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. So I don't know if our client's saying something different to you and to me, but what he told me was he had reached out to you multiple times.
Which he did not.
I don't know okay, well, that's what I'm trying to explain here on the phone call.
That's fine.
Because what he told me was he had reached out to your team multiple times.
He didn't?
I'm like, okay, I know. You said that already.
Right.
So
that's why a phone call to me probably would have been better than firing off an email to 8 people. Just in the future.
It was the title company and our client.
Let's use this as a learning experience, Themis, because now that we're good, close friends, right?
Well,
in the future,
I know, but
Themis,
also you shouldn't be calling people Mr. Anus on the radio.
I asked you to call me Thursday. You didn't call me back,
and some other names.
Okay, listen, get over the anus, right? I didn't want to call your name because my attorney said not to mention your name, so you called in, so I could call you Themis. That's your first name. So here in the future, Themis, when you have a client that has a problem, do what I do as a 58-year-old, 25-year experienced mortgage professional. You call the other side to confirm. Because as you know, borrowers sometimes don't tell the truth all the time, okay? And if there's a problem with the transaction, which problems happen, right, Themis? People make mistakes. Like Chicago Title, a very fine, great, outstanding, 100-year-old plus company. Their closer made a mistake and didn't send the checks. Or maybe the closer sent the checks, Themis, and the checks got lost because our mail system sucks. Maybe instead of firing off an email to 7, 8 people at 7:07 on Thursday, you pick up the phone and call the lender and say, hey, the borrower is complaining that he's calling me. You got a mess on aisle 5. Can you clean it up so I could get this off my desk? That would have been the proper thing to do, Themis. Okay? So let's just use this as a big learning experience for other attorneys that don't have as much experience as I do doing what I do. Okay? Can we just agree to that?
Yeah, that's fine, David. But
Okay, great.
initially, as I stated, I never even pointed the finger at you.
Well, you
at
did
all.
in the email at
Right.
7:07.
No. That was after the fact. So
Okay.
2 weeks ago, when our client initially came to me, I never even blamed you.
I got it.
I never
Themis,
blamed your
Themis,
office, never
Themis,
blamed your team.
Themis. It doesn't matter what happened to it. I'm talking about the email you sent on Thursday. Bottom line is, I got to hit a break.
Yeah,
I
'cause
appreciate you calling.
That was almost the fourth or fifth time our client had reached out.
And I would have
they-
called the
multiple
lender
times they
the
tried
day
reaching
that
out to
they
you.
called me, Themis, and said, hey, there's a problem with Mr. McGillicuddy's file. Can you please look into this for me so I could have him stop calling me and get this off my desk because
Okay,
it's
and
eating my
hey,
time?
David, here's another thing. This morning you sent me another email, or yesterday at 5:30, telling me to tune into your show.
So tune
I
into
had
show.
No idea you even, yeah, I had no idea you had a show or anything like that.
Oh, no, you do.
It doesn't really bother me.
Good.
Now I do, yeah. That's
Okay.
good for you, yeah.
I'm happy
so,
for me.
And
Right.
then you stated that your team resolved the issue.
Yes.
I have a message again from our client this morning saying
Right.
that the issue has not been resolved.
Okay, and I have a
like-
message, Themis. I have a text from Stacy who said that he got confused. The checks are waiting for him. Stacy clearly asked our borrower if he got the checks, and he said yes. So he made a mistake again. The checks are cut. The checks are cut, waiting for the borrower to go get the checks on Monday. So the checks are there. I'm paying the $40 charge plus an extra $10 VIG so we could get a coffee, and the problem's solved. So the problem's solved, Themis.
So here's the thing, David. We're unfortunately we went back and forth a little bit. Clearly, it sounds like our client tells me one thing and tells you another thing.
Right.
So, at this point,
You pick up the phone and you call Themis.
and that's fine. And
Right.
we'll
Learning
let
experience.
bygones be bygones, and we'll
It's
move
bygone.
forward. But,
Yeah, we'll go on.
I understand. And, unfortunately, though, I would like an apology for the Mr. Anus.
I'll tell you what. You
Honestly-
apologize to Stacy for firing on her in the email. I'll apologize
did you
right
see
now.
my
I'm
email
sorry
this
for
morning?
calling you I'm sorry for calling you Mr. Anus. Now apologize to Stacy who busted her rear end to get this loan done.
David, did you see my email this morning?
I did not.
wrote
I've been
really
doing
good
a radio
words
show.
about Stacy.
Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
No, because I asked our client. I said,
That's fine.
"Who have you been contacting?"
Okay.
And he gave me Stacy's
Themis,
contact information.
Themis, I got to
said,
hit a
don't
break,
know
and this
Stacy.
is becoming now boring radio. It was great radio. It's now boring. So I got to put you on hold. Hang on for your Mr. Floor Cleaning product.